Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Saving the world one bank account at a time. It is the Big B Show from the Loft 100 Studios, beautiful Southern California. Costa, Mary Godwin, Greg Todorov.
Boy, wow.
Oh, I like that.
I like those. I like the pause for effect.
Thank you, Mary Godwin.
Yeah, right. Aren't you? Sweet. We have a full house finally. Aren't you leaving now?
Yeah.
This is your last show?
Dude. That's it.
Where are you going?
Oh, I told you. This is my last
You in
show.
Cincinnati? You're just saying that to make us feel good. Where are you going to eat?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Exactly. Are you going to Cincinnati?
Going to Cincinnati?
In the summertime.
In the summertime. Yeah. You got to wait until it's as hot as it can possibly be.
Like in October.
No. That's not.
You want to go
right.
when you can cut
got to
the
go.
air.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
95 degrees.
Going to have little spaghetti and chili while you're there?
Oh, I probably will go a four-way bean.
Is that called a chili size? Isn't that called a chili size?
Is it what are they?
Four-way
Four-way? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's four-way bean?
Four-way, you could choose your beans or your onions. I go bean.
What are we talking?
Five-way is beans and onions.
Skyline Chili is famous
Skyline
in
chili.
Cincinnati. They
Cincinnati
eat chili
chili
on spaghetti noodles and then add a bunch of different accoutrements.
So you can have chili on spaghetti.
I didn't know it was French.
Yeah.
Stay awake for many days after you have
chili on spaghetti doesn't sound bad.
No, it's delicious.
It's phenomenal.
It's really good.
Do you know what's also good? Gravy on pancakes.
What?
Why would that be odd? What are the ingredients of a pancake?
Flour, egg,
what's the ingredient of a biscuit?
Flour, baking soda.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. Really amazing.
Like white breakfast gravy, sausage gravy.
No,
right?
turkey gravy. Any gravy. Any one of your blood. It's one of your 4 food groups. So
it is, obviously.
So this gravy is, by the way.
Yeah.
Pancakes is another one. So you just add the two together. Howie Font, our entrepreneur, joins us straight from New York City. I just got to spend the weekend with Howie in Greenwich, Connecticut.
And you're still walking?
What a different part of the country.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Green. Exactly what you think. Lawns the size of football fields.
That's right.
Yep.
Massive, just trees everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's 1,000 years old, but it's definitely not San Diego. Right. Now, got a chance to go across Long Island Sound. Ooh. Which is a big, huge body of water.
Yep.
Still not like the Pacific Ocean. It was completely different. Howie, great to see you, sir. What's going on in the stock market today?
Yeah, great to see you as well. And yeah, Greenwich, no sidewalks. They don't want you there.
Yeah, that's right. There was no sidewalks. That's
Really?
right.
They're nice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
they don't want you to
and I
walk
don't think we were on a freeway even one time. Like there was
You go from a state to a state, I think is the deal.
Yeah.
You're just driving by them. There's no room for walking on the sidewalk.
No, but it's exactly probably what's in your mind's eye if you've ever been to Connecticut. It's that thing where there's the big lawns going down to the water, and every house is 8,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I didn't see any in Greenwich anyway, any suburbia looking anything. I didn't see a normal size house even one time there. It was ridiculous. Hey, the market, we had an exciting start to the month. Then we had a very scary piece of a correction, as they call it. And now August is reverting back to a big snoozer again. So talk about what's happening there. Is this just a typical summertime thing? Because that yen carry trade from Japan kind of threw us for a loop for a couple of days, but it seems like we're back to normal again.
Yeah, the recovery from the carry trade was actually pretty illustrative of how much money on the sidelines there is. I mean, when we have the volatility of going from 5,600 in the S&P down to 5,200, and then now we're back to 56.
Well, that's less than half than it was even before that. I mean, the volatility is dropping like a tummy tuck on a plus size model, I'd like to say.
That's right. Volatility being just how quickly the price moves up and down. That's exactly right. Has been cut in half. I mean, we're kind of back to boring. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell people. The big news, I would say, is there's still over $6 trillion, a record amount of cash that's being kept on the sidelines. So if you imagine what people are going to do when, there's an opportunity.
Well, it's going to come back in a couple of weeks anyway. Howie, stay right there because I want to talk about the S&P. And there's a lot of money on the sidelines, as they say.
Yeah.
Trillions.
live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny Southern California. It's hot here. It's hot a lot of places, but we appreciate you being along for the ride. Mike Costa, Mary Bert Godwin, Greg Todorov, and that laugh you heard mocking me, our main man, Sully.
125 million TV homes strong, BizTV network, American Forces Radio Network. Of course, Bloomberg Financiero, hola, lave sus manos to the 15 million viewers we have there. Of course, we head into Bloomberg EU at the end of the month, which I like to call Bloomberg Stinky EU. How about some ice?
Yeah. Yep.
I like my drinks warm and my showers cold, Mike.
Oof, exactly.
So I'm heading to Germany. Great to have you along. Dr. Keith Cantor is our guest today. He is in the studio. He is the president of Rancho Santa Fe Health, Wellness, and Coaching Corporation. Of course, you may be watching us in New York City. You may be listening to us on American Forces somewhere abroad, or watching us down in Mexico with the subtitles that go from there to there. He is a certified child, teen, adult, family life coach, as well as what kind of habits do you have to break? Is it the Funyuns habit? Is it the Bacon Bits after you dip your Funyuns in mayo?
It's so much. It's Funyuns, it's Bacon Bits, it's going to bed with a big giant burrito on my chest, the whole 9 yards.
Is the world your placemat?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Anything you want? Any habits you're trying to break?
Yes, I want to be a morning person. I'm not a morning
person. Are you not a morning person?
Oh my God, I hate the mornings.
I've called you at 6 in the morning for 7 years in a row.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I thought you were up.
hey, no.
The problem is when you do a morning radio, you know this. When you do morning radio early,
yeah,
you think everybody else is up, so you're making phone calls at 6, not realizing it ain't 8.
There's a lot of oops.
I'm not.
What, are you changing anything other than your?
No, you know what? About 10 years ago, I reached perfection.
You're
freezing it. I just hold it. I just come in here to hang out with you guys.
I would like.
I like that.
I would like to do less. I've retired twice in my life, and that lasted. One time lasted for 6 months. The other one lasted for about 6 minutes. I cannot function unless I've got stuff that I'm either looking forward to, deals that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. So how many businesses do we have right now? We've got a studio business, we've got an on-air business, we've got a keynote speaking business, we got music business. We got that interpretive dance band I'm in.
An event business.
That's what business?
An event
business. Okay. And the thing is, but Mike's definition of success is the fact I don't have a key to this place. I don't know where the mail key is. And by the way, there was a time when the late great Rusty Nails used to say to me, "Dude, just be the product. You don't have to do everything." That's a habit like Drake. Talk about that, Keith, about with respect to what you see in clients. I mean, you sell a little bit of everything here.
Everybody's got flaws.
So we just quit now and just lay on the couch and start to do tissue?
No, that giving up it doesn't work. You want to get hungry to change, okay? And that's hard for people because you don't get motivated before you get determined. Okay, so you got to decide, okay, what do I want to change in my life first? Yep. And it's foreign. It's like the book Green Eggs and Ham. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm that guy, I'm Sam I Am, who comes in and says, yeah, you know what, if you want to change, you can change because it's based on biology and psychology.
But is it based on just being aware of what you have to change? Because in my mind, if you're just aware of it, that's just awareness hell. Okay, I suck. I need to do that.
It's like knowing New Year's resolutions, what you want to do, but not doing them. No, you have to dedicate yourself to change. So there are things that you have to do. So for example, in what we do is we teach mindfulness to people, which is the first thing, which is getting people out of the past and out of the future and into now. So you can have a real realistic look at your life and where you are on all levels, because we look at physical, psychological, social. And once you get that and you want to change your morning habits, we use science to get you there.
So here's my question though. To me, this seems like taking someone who is unemployed and getting them motivated to be employed. However, we've all been unemployed, and we all wanted to work. I don't think we wanted to work. We just wanted the money, right? I mean, honestly, do we really want to work, or do we just want the money? Do we really want to change? Or we just want to be different? Isn't that the big designation?
And if you love what you do, you love what you do. Like when you were talking about your businesses, you're charged up. You're like, I'm not going to retire because this gives me life. Okay, so if we invest
what the hell am I going to do?
I mean, exactly. Well, there's only so many, golf games you can play, or tennis or garden. We're getting older.
Have you discovered pickleball? Have you discovered pickleball?
I have. Got hurt already twice.
Pickleball can suck your life. I've been hurt twice. Pickleball can suck your life away.
I'm already hurt twice. All right. But it can you can get over over-invested in things if you don't have a lot of things going on in your life that make you happy. Okay, so work can be something. I wrote an article called Work Therapy. Work is so good for you. Reading is so good for you. It keeps you alive. It keeps you going. So don't quit. Don't retire.
So when you're talking to CEOs, and let's stick to business here because I know that you coach children and teens and adults alike. Let's talk about businesses.
Sure.
We've interviewed on this program of 30 some odd years in radio and 15 or 16 in TV, probably every major CEO that most people have heard of, including Steve Jobs, Steve Forbes, Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, and every one of them that I've got to interview in person, including the rock stars of the world, like Ted Nugent or even guys like Steve Perry, there's this imposter syndrome that goes on. And I think it goes on in many of us. And that means is, God, I hope they don't find out I'm just a douche.
Right.
I'm just a normal guy. Like, it's okay.
No worries.
But the point is that do you find that also that people have to reconcile the fact of their own worth, the fact that they necessarily aren't better than somebody else, but they do have something that's bigger, better, faster, stronger, cheaper, more attractive, or something making them successful in business? Because I think that imposter syndrome can get in the way.
Lots of things get in the way, including that. And with businesses, the real key is unity. And I work with athletes and I work with teams as well. Okay, so getting your business people on the same page together, mindsets, very important. Okay, so I've worked with so many small local businesses and national ones where I get from the top bottom, everybody's on the same page. Everybody's got a vision that they're looking at, or I create vision balls and vision boards for people. But the whole corporation is following this. It's like a football team or like the Padres right now on fire, and they'll all say the same reason, because it's mental, okay? The reason why people change is it's your mental state, okay? 70% of what we do is based on mental performance, not physical. You can have all the ideas and all this, but if you don't have your mindset right, and you're not mentally in the right place, your company is going to lose a lot of money. And you can make a lot of money if you have right mindsets, correct ones that are research-based, and you're teaching that with your group. And it works well, and we have the data to show it. So it's awesome stuff. So yes, you got to believe in yourself though, Sully. Yes.
Dr. Keith Kanner with us here at the bar, president of the Rancho Santa Fe Health, Wellness, and Coaching Corporation. Go to his website, drkeithperformance.com. A problem that I run into is I set a date. Hey, I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to do this, going to do that.
Do you know what the rest of us call that?
Yeah.
Monday.
Right.
And is it better just to take one thing, do it, and then start to incorporate that other thing that you want to do it as well? Or is it just attack everything at once?
It's a great idea, great sense. I always get people scheduled, okay? Time scheduling, time management, really important. Even breaking your day up into 3 things. Self-care, your work, and then social, relaxation. But you got to schedule it and do it. So we don't get motivated automatically. We have to do things to get motivated. When you go to the gym, when people go to the gym, and I fall to this too, because we change every 3 months habitually in our environment, just so you know. Our taste buds change, we change. So every environment you're in, every 3 months. You want to stop a habit? What I do with people is if you're eating Funyuns, for 3 months, you're not going to eat Funyuns. I find something else for you to eat.
Watch it, dog.
No. You eat something. No. Wait. No, it works. No.
Funyuns is a food group.
No, but we find other things to kind of move you over. Okay, so you can change that. But in order to, when you say about making changes, you have to do it to change it.
A 3-month elite coaching program, what does that look like?
So basically, it's what we do is we take a picture of your life. You come in and we look at your life kind of on a pie scale. Every part of your life, physical, psychological, social, educational, financial, self-esteem, where you are, interpersonal. We see where you are and we work with you to try to see where you want to go. We then use 14 different paradigms of science to get people there, from mindfulness to psychology to different types of therapies, from oxygen therapy to neurooptimal training to alpha M STEM.
Have you heard of vitamin T?
Vitamin T.
Oh, yes, tequila.
Vitamin T. Yes, ding, tequila. Vitamin T. Yes, that will wake you up too, or celebrate, the end of a nice, purposeful day, perhaps.
Right.
But with that said, we take a picture, we put you into a program, we start with mindfulness, emotional intelligence. So we start working right away to get you to notice that you're holding your breath 68% of the time. Most of us do. Okay? You're working, you're doing things. Most people work out incorrectly. Instead of pushing out, they breathe in and hold their breath. Okay, and you starve your brain. So we teach people about basic how to care for themselves, nutritionally, physically, and with that, all of a sudden, those goals that they set, and we start pushing towards it and work on models to help them to get there, it works. And if they stick with it and do the 36 things we have people do every day, they get better.
Two last questions for you. Number one, can you help people watching us anywhere in the world if they contact you
Yes.
online? And what's the end result? What do you consider success in something like this?
Well, we look at things from 0 to 10, our scale, or 1 to 10. 10 would be, too much. One's not so good. So we look to try to get people functioning. We look at.
He went 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So, but people will, if I said to you, okay, on a 0 to 10 scale, right now, where would you rate your physical health for you? But you're perfect right now, so you'd be like,
I mean, what are you saying, Doc?
okay, you're off my scale. Forget it. Okay,
Greg's the 13.
but that's good. But so with that said, the model is to work with that person to get them to where they want to be, and usually the idea is that you're feeling better. Functional 5 is a 5, right? 7 8s. 8s are great. 10s? No, you're not going to maintain that. But the idea is to stay with 8s, and 8s are great.
Dr. Keith, you got to come back.
like
You got to be
that.
on there with us.
Fascinating.
Fun stuff.
Mike?
Great show.
Yeah.
You want to do a little off camera? We got a catch out front. You got to.
Can you go back to that pie you were talking about?
Yeah, no,
Thanks, man. More Biz coming up. Stand by.
In over 175 countries, in all the ships at sea. As always, we say thank you to the men and women of our United States Armed Forces for what they do and what they have done for us. It is the Big Biz Show, live from the Loft 100 studios in Southern California. Costa, Marybird Godwin, our executive producer, Greg Todorov, with you. Normally, Sully is standing here, but as happens sometimes with him, he gets very, very, very busy. And then they come to me and they say, dude, you gotta stand in for the guy.
Take it home.
Yeah, and I'm always happy to do it. Personally, I think I do a much better job than he does. But that's a story for another day, anything like
Take
that.
a vote. I don't know.
Yeah, let's take a vote.
take a vote.
And always thanks to the DTT,
Always.
or the greatest in the business. Yeah, see, they applaud me because they know I do such a great job.
They're the best.
Yeah, they are the best. With us today is Patrick Summers, the CEO owner of General Air Plumbing and Electric. And this is a guy, this is one of those great stories of somebody who just kind of set their sights on a goal and has been achieving not only that goal, but many more in his life in this line of work, personally and professionally. Patrick, welcome to the Big Biz Show.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, man.
We're honored to have you. How does one start in the HVAC, electrical, plumbing, air conditioning, heating business?
Well, the most direct route is trade school or find a company that will train you on the job. I took the long route. I'm 52. I got into it about 14 years ago.
Okay.
And I did everything in between up until that point. So I took the long way, but it's a pretty simple thing to get into,
right?
If it's what you want. And there's plenty of companies out there. That's the amazing thing, is companies out there that will do on-the-job training.
Can I ask a question about trade school? You mentioned that because I have daughters that are teenagers. One's a senior looking to apply to colleges, but there is a lot of talk about maybe skipping college, going to a JC, and or going right into it. What are trade schools? Are they 2-year schools? And can you?
So there's 6-month school, there's 1-year school, there's 2-year school. I actually dropped out of trade school because I got hired by General Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
Hands-on.
And what they were teaching me there and paying me, it was like an accelerated program. And I was like, I'm not driving to go to school at night when I got a company that's willing to pay me and invest in me and train me. But the trade schools are good. But here's the thing. You go to trade school, it's just like you're a doctor. You go to medical school, you're not going out and doing surgery, right? You got to put your time in on the job to get that. And that's where, when you're actually with a company, and if you have a company that will train you, man, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, getting hands-on experience is better.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then you get paid. And that's
that's the good part. Yeah.
Patrick Summers, the CEO, owner of General Air Plumbing and Electric. The website is callthegeneral.com. So when you've got somebody who comes into your company and saying, hey, I'm not going to go to college. I know exactly this is what I want to do, whether I'm going to be selling HVAC systems or I want to be, roll up my sleeves, get my hands dirty as a plumber, that type of thing. How long is that normal training period, though, with your interns before you feel comfortable. And granted, you're the head of the company. You want to be able to sleep at night, knowing that people are living up to the standard of general. How long is that period until you're comfortable?
So we can get somebody out in a truck on their own doing very basic type of service, right? Mostly maintenance and type of things like that, inspections, after about 6 months. Now their training is ongoing.
Okay.
Right? So in the ideal world, we bring them in 1 day a week, we train them, we have an on-site training facility. So until somebody's like has arrived, 2 years easily, right?
Okay.
But they're out generating revenue, taking care of problems,
Practical
learning on the job.
experience.
Yep, and you can get a guy on site or gal, right, on site. They can start their work, and then you get the more senior tech on site to then continue that training in that role. But they'll ride with somebody. Now, plumbing's a whole different animal. We're usually going to have somebody ride along for a year.
Okay. Now, and I don't know how Mary and Greg feel, but there are certain things in life where you are at the mercy of whoever the person is you're going to. And I feel that way about mechanics for my car. And I feel about that way with people who come to my house to do sort of, work on it, especially plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk about that, because I know that the general air plumbing and electric, honesty and transparency is huge with you and your workforce.
Yeah, 100%. Because there is an unknown. And here's what I tell all the technicians. When you go to a home, most of the time, there's a female that is at the home. And I said, you have to remember, that's somebody's mother, daughter, sister, grandmother.
Love it.
Right? And I said, so they don't know you, and they're letting you into their home. So one, you have to communicate really well. That's the biggest thing. You have to be a really great at communicating. You have to be totally upfront, right? And that is, find out what the problem is. And I tell people, look, our job is to find possible points of failure, right? You go to a doctor, he does a physical, you don't want him to be like, you know what, I didn't want to tell you that was going to be an issue because I didn't want to give you bad news. Right? No, your job is to find out my potential points of failure.
Yep.
And that's what we do when we go into the home, but being totally transparent, giving options. And I always tell the technicians, the first option is you can do nothing. Not a good option, but you do have that option. Now let me tell you the options we have to take care of your problem. And that really helps. It puts people at ease. Like, I can tell you no, of course you can tell us no.
Yeah.
Trustworthiness, you mentioned, that's a big thing, because I am the one that's home usually, and I don't know a lot about it. And so I have to put my faith into the person telling me this is what's wrong. And I am skeptical too sometimes, like they're just trying to upsell me and I don't really need all these things. But I do like when I do get the options like you were mentioning. But trustworthiness, I also was thinking about reviews. Do you send reviews out, requests to your customers?
We do. And we actually, so when we book a call, when someone books a call with us, we will call and let them know the technician's on the way. Then they will get a text message or an email, and it will have a picture of the technician that's coming to their home.
That's great.
It'll have a bio of that technician. And then it has kind of like the Domino's Pizza or whatever, where you click and you can see the guy on the way to your home.
Oh, cool.
So you know when they get there. And then we send out a follow-up review afterwards. And that's really good, because obviously if there's an issue, a concern, you can address it right away. And we role play with the technicians how to close out the call, to give that customer a chance to voice any concerns they may have, right, before they even get done, so it can be taken care of. But
Do you read those reviews yourself that come in?
Yeah,
Of the
they come to my email, and people know whether I've got a good review or a bad review, because
Patrick Summers is the CEO owner of General Air Plumbing and Electric. His website is callthegeneral.com. If you want to get in touch with him, he and his staff to come out to your house. We got about a minute left. Talk about your podcast about you're about to launch.
Yeah. So Tradepreneur Show. Gonna start a podcast. I really want to get the word out about the trades, the opportunity in the trades, some of the things we talked about. How do you get into the trades?
Yes.
What are the options? College is great. I sent all my kids to college prep, Jesuit school. My oldest, she graduated, she went to esthetician school. That's the trades, right? People think plumbing, electric, welding. Esthetician, cosmetology, that's the trades, right? And so I just want to get the word out there. I want to promote the trades, and I want to have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I bet you will. I bet you will.
Yeah.
Come back on the show with us, please.
I would love to.
There's so much more to dive into. Your love of aviation. You want to hear what the podcast is doing and whatnot. Patrick Summers, CEO, owner, General Air Plumbing and Electric. Again, the website to go to, callthegeneral.com. Pat, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, more of the Big Biz Show after this. Happy holidays to the Loft 100 Studios. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, welcome to the Big Biz Show. Hope everyone's having a great day. We certainly are. Costa, Marybert Godwin, Greg Todoroff.
It's not tipsy.
It's Sully.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Welcome to the Big
Somebody put something in my insurer.
Have you seen now that they're actually using Pedialyte and they're marketing it as hangover cure?
They should.
I used to have Pedialyte Pops.
Yeah,
That was my job.
Pedialyte's really good.
The consumers have spoken.
Do you know what's
and you
good for
must
hangover?
listen to them.
What's good for hangover?
Not drinking.
More booze.
Yeah, or hair of the dog.
Once somebody told us,
I wonder where that saying came from.
I wonder that too.
A woman, I don't think I hate middle age. That's a horrible way to put it. A woman, a Carmel Valley mom babe,
That's better.
who was 45. You know, mom babes, they're like 40. They wear athleisure. You know, they wear Lululemon all the time.
Hair's always in a bun.
Yeah,
Or a
45 to 60. She said one time when she was overserved, because don't take responsibility for yourself.
Never.
It was a bartender. That she would wake up at 4 a.m, not feeling great. She'd have a half a glass of wine, go back to sleep, and it solved everything. So I do that every day.
Right.
What do I take about? Wow. What do I have to figure out? My 4 a.m. mouthwash.
Jesus juice.
It's great. Hey, our good friend Kirk Huntsman's here, of course, Vivos. Of course, Vivos Therapeutics, the obstructive sleep apnea experts, and this has turned into a consumer service interview. And of course, Mike, going through the process here. I want to get your update in a minute, but in the meantime,
Sure.
Kirk, how are you, man? Good to see you.
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks.
Can I talk to you real quickly, because a couple weeks ago I saw a press release that I don't think we understood as much as we should have, but it was about the coding of insurance to whereby people are going to pay for the insurance is going to pay for this. So first of all, real quickly for the people who haven't seen it before, review obstructive sleep apnea, review your device, but let's talk about the fact that this is a pretty big game changer. Now this doesn't have to come out of pocket anymore.
Yeah, so it is a big game changer, and look, we're Vivos is addressing the 80 million people in the United States that are estimated to have obstructive sleep apnea. plus an additional 10 million children. And whenever you go to the doctor, and you want the doctor to process your insurance, they file with your insurance using what are called CPT codes. And these CPT codes are issued by the American Medical Association. And if you have a medical device or a specialized medical procedure such as Vivos, you have to go through a rigorous application process in order to have a CPT code issued. And that's
those codes are what insurance uses to justify a payment, correct? In other words, if you have a heart surgery, there's a certain code. If you've got, my left arm's completely numb like it is right now, there's a certain code. But the point is, these didn't exist before. Because, first of all, it goes to a dentist's office, and dental insurance wouldn't cover a medical device. So I'm assuming that was part of the problem, right?
Well, dentists, believe it or not, dentists are allowed to file. They have an MPI number, which allows them to file under medical insurance plans. It's not often that they do that. They typically reserve that for things like sleep apnea, and they also do that for certain oral maxillofacial surgery type procedures.
Sure. Okay.
But in this case, these new codes that were granted by the American Medical Association to Vivos are the result of a long, protracted, multi-year process of us getting with them, making them comfortable, getting our FDA clearances in order, getting all these things, getting PDAC approvals and CMS approvals. And once they saw that all that was in order and that there was good safety and efficacy data, they granted us these codes.
Well, and the reason I bring this up is this is important. So the audience is wondering why we're talking about insurance codes, right? Mm-hmm. This changes the face of revenue for you. This changes the face of shareholder value. I mean, when it comes down to, I always tell people, nobody's in the business of buying stock. People are in the business of selling stock, right? Nobody's in the business of, they're looking at your company in terms of, okay, this is a great device, but how do we sell it? This just opened up a whole new category and probably tripled the category in terms of revenue potential, right?
Right. So there's one element of this that remains, and that is to really solidify the amount of reimbursement that the payers are going to. Now they have a code which gives them permission to do this. It gives them a code to enter into the machine, into the filing. But the level of reimbursement is still sort of being done. But
Kirk, there's reimbursement where there was none before, which I think is critical, right?
Exactly right. Exactly.
Your device is an oral device that you wear after dinner. It literally, because of the way it can be modified, changes the physiology of the patient to whereby it opens the airway, but it also does a number of other things. And the process isn't immediate. However, this is something that's actually the only process of its kind, and it will eventually replace the CPAP machine, correct?
Well, it can, and it does. And I want to point out, since you guys were talking about hangovers and alcohol and whatnot, I just want Mike to really understand that excessive alcohol consumption is not going to help his OSA.
No, it's not.
And will work contrary to our efforts to fix his
You just got admonished by the CEO of the company that makes this.
I did. Yeah, I know.
And if his throat's gonna be big, can't you just pour it down easier? Oh, I'm sorry, that's your airway. I'm sorry.
Well, Kirk,
I just wanted him to just a little note to self, Mike.
I appreciate it.
Talk about getting dressed down by the boss.
Off the booze,
that's all right. That's all right.
You got called into the boss's office.
Fixes.
Well,
no 4 a.m. fixes.
Having talked with Dr. Perp, my dentist, who I went and had the whole procedure done.
Wait, first of all, so before we get there, Jared, do we have B-roll of that?
Right there.
There it is.
Here we go.
So this is Mike, when you're walking in and saying, okay, I sound like
help.
a buzzsaw, my wife's about to leave me, and I'm going to die.
Yes.
Those are the top three things, by the way.
Yeah. It's painless. It is so easy, and they
So what was she explaining to you there? Was she talking to you about your physiology, like
the way my mouth is formed and how small my airway is, and everything that has to do with the way your jaw, your skull, it's all interconnected as far as the sleep apnea is concerned. And so you go in, you get these tests done. It's completely non-invasive. And they measure you, and they send it away to the great people at Vivos. And my device should be coming early next week.
So so you go back in and see them, and they tell you how to use it.
They make sure it fits your mouth right and everything like that. And you go.
So the benefits aren't only sleep. There's weight loss involved. There's health. You'll be in a Speedo by summer.
Well, to Kirk's point about you can't sit there and drink a ton of bourbon and expect your sleep apnea to go away. There has to be some delicate lifestyle changes involved with it as well, but
the word Funyun just dropped in everybody's mouth the minute you say lifestyle.
I know. But
bacon bits and Funyuns.
The fact that I get rid of the friggin' Hannibal Lecter thing.
But you did anyway. This like 2 hours into the night, right?
Yeah.
Kirk, that's an important thing here. The CPAP machine is the only option right now for obstructive sleep apnea, and nobody's compliant. Correct? I mean, I don't happen to have one of those things, but I'm assuming. Nothing is sexier than putting a mask on your face that looks like you're in Top Gun when you go to bed.
It's miserable.
Right? So is the compliance thing's a big thing? And you guys have made this sort of easy, right, Kirk?
Compliance is really a challenge. It's the biggest challenge with CPAP. Those units are effective, but they're palliative. Remember, they give a guy like Mike the ability to live to fight another day. But they don't fix it. They don't cure it. They don't really do any of that. What the goal of Vivos treatment is to actually take his condition, remodel that airway, strengthen those tissues, make his airway more patent, which means less prone to collapse, and give him a shot at having a bigger set of pipes to breathe through for the rest of his life. Our patients are one and done, in and out of treatment in 9 to 12 months typically. And then it's game over. Now the thing about weight loss is really important here because this works with heavy people. It works with people with lower BMIs. But once they get into a routine of good deep sleep, the natural tendency is that they start to lose weight because the body wants to secrete human growth hormone at night, and instead when you have sleep apnea, it secretes cortisol.
By the way,
my case, gravy.
By the way, Mike's not big; he's just big boned. Okay? So you said, Kirk, when you looked at his file, your airways is narrow. By the way, Mike had this behind his ear all through the '80s. He was in a bar. But the long story short, but you said like the depth of a cocktail straw was how thin his airway was. And the interesting part of that thing is you're walking around all day long, and you do your sleep study. No wonder you feel like you're fatigued. No wonder you feel like
dusk comes and you're just like.
And Sully, you mentioned something just a few minutes ago. I want to just point out. You said it might take some time for the effects of this to take place. That's true when it comes to the permanent resolution of this thing. But Mike will start to feel better almost immediately.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I've got to go to the sleep center and spend the night at this place to do. There is a ring you take home and you put it on and you hook it up.
Did you find out how many times per night you're waking up?
Oh yeah.
They did the whole thing, huh?
Oh my God. Yeah. A bunch of times.
So you basically haven't slept in like 10 years.
Pretty much.
No.
But the sleep test is so easy to do. You do it in your own bed, and like I said, it's a little ring that monitors everything. And that's a huge hurdle for a lot of people.
Kirk, brother, thanks so much. I'm sure we'll see you next week. I appreciate it. Kirk, Huntsman, Vivos. By the way, Mike, I love when you do this on the air.
Sorry.
That was a good look. You know when you first walk into a bar, too? Hi, how are you? Good.
The Big Biz Show rolling on. Another fun day here at the Loft 100 Studios in beautiful Southern California. Hope you guys are having a great day. Always appreciate you being with us. I am Costa in the beautiful tan sweater. That beautiful lady right there is Mary Bird Godwin. And of course, Sully.
You know what I love about Mike? In the summertime, he is a tan sweater.
I'm going to get it waxed.
For Christmas, his wife asked for a heavy sweater. Mike showed up. Here we go.
You tan?
Yeah. You didn't ask him to sweat.
I know.
I glisten.
A beautiful tan sweater, Mike Costa. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Mel Torme was the velvet fog. I'm the tan sweater.
Christian Kanstrup, CEO of Evaxion. EVAX is their stock symbol, and we've seen them on a tear here ever since we had them on the air. Evaxion-biotech.com, improving lives in the cancer space with AI-immunology. Christian, thanks for taking the time. I know you're all the way over in Europe, and it's probably midnight there or worse at this point, but thanks for joining us once again. I have to ask you one more time for our audience, as we keep on picking up new affiliates, to explain what AI-immunology is. Talk about that from the very beginning.
First of all, Sully, great to see you again and great being back. I mean, in short, AI-immunology is our advanced AI machine learning platform designed to discover and develop novel vaccine candidates for both cancer and infectious diseases. So it is about utilizing, you can say, the opportunities brought forth by AI and machine learning, as well as all the biological big data that we have available today, to being able to develop both cancer vaccines, but also vaccines for infectious diseases. And within the cancer area, we are working both on personalized cancer vaccines, which is possible due to AI-immunology, our AI platform, where we are designing cancer vaccines specifically for each individual patient. Also, within the infectious disease area, we are using the AI-immunology platform to discover vaccines much faster than what could be done with traditional methods. If you look at the traditional way of developing vaccines for infectious diseases, it could take up to 3 years to discover a target. We can do that in just 24 hours with AI-immunology. So in essence, it is about being able to discover and develop drugs faster, cheaper, and with lower risk, and also being able to discover novel vaccines which you cannot find with traditional methods. So in essence, it is about saving and improving lives with AI-immunology, which is also our purpose, Sully.
Christian, in layman's terms, let's say Sully and I came in and we both had cancer A, B, C, D. We could both come in with the exact same cancer, but at the same time need a vaccine that is polar opposite from the other?
Yeah, so it's one size does not fit all, correct?
Exactly. We would be designing a vaccine specifically for each of you. So it would not necessarily be the same, because when you look at people who unfortunately develop cancer, I mean, there's a lot of mutations, and the cancer mutations are different from patient to patient. And that also means that one drug doesn't necessarily fit all. And that's why we have taken the concept one step further and are developing personalized vaccines precisely tailored to the individual patient's mutations of the tumor, so thereby hopefully being able to provide a more efficacious therapy.
I've got a question. By the way, Christian Kanstrup's his name, CEO of Evaxion. EVAX is their stock symbol. If you want more information on the company, go to evaxion-biotech.com. You mentioned faster in terms of drug development. Now look, AI is based upon machine learning. It's based upon taking all of the existing data out there in the world and applying it to whatever specific either term, science, business that you plug into it, and it gives you the best practices that, currently it's about 85% accurate. Coming back, let's say if you write something. In terms of medicine though, is it taking advantage of everything everyone knows so far that's published about, let's say, immunology and metastatic cancer? And is that why it goes faster? Is that the reason it moves faster? Is because it's just a more efficient model, or is there actual thinking going on here that's moving the needle?
Well, I mean, there are many things behind this. I mean, in essence, if you look at what you need to be able to do, you need to be able to decode the human immune system. And being able to do that in an effective way, you need a significant computational power. On top of that, you need to be able to process vast amount of data. And if you look at Evaxion, interestingly enough, we were actually founded back in 2008, long before there was anything even coined AI as such, with the objective of using machine learning and computational power to decode the human immune system. And that also means that we, during the past 15 years, have been training our model on both publicly available data, but also, very importantly, on data that we have been generating our own proprietary data, both from preclinical studies, but also from clinical studies, which have significantly increased the, precision of our AI model to predict the right targets. And with that, of course, also comes the speed that we are capable of designing or discovering a novel target in just 24 hours. So it's both about the speed, but also importantly, it's very much about being able to pick the vaccine candidates which are expected to be most efficacious. Because one thing is speed, but you also need to ensure that you actually have a vaccine candidate that works for either the individual cancer patient or in a infectious disease population.
Hey, Christian, we have about a minute left. Can you tell me how the FDA is reacting to all this? It's moving so fast, and I don't know if the FDA works that fast.
Yeah, I mean, are they poo-pooing AI?
Right.
Because FDA is about facts and about science, right? AI is kind of newfangled in terms of that. Are they? That's a great question, man.
I think the simplest way to put this is for our lead candidate, EVX-01, which is in phase 2 clinical trial and actually reporting out with 1 year efficacy data next month. There we have fast track designation from FDA. So that indicates that even though things are moving fast, there's also the common understanding that with 10 million patients dying a year due to cancer, we simply need more efficacious treatments. And that is what we can bring with AI-immunology.
Good stuff. Christian Kanstrup's his name. Christian, thank you so much. Can't wait for you to come into the States here and hang out with us for a whole hour at some point. Either way, we'll see you next week on the air. Come on. Get back out here. That's where we met him in the first place. Howie and Evan went out there and saw him at one of the biotech conferences.
Yes.
Right. All right, that does it for us. Big Biz Show for a Thursday. Tomorrow is not Casual Friday, but it is I Slept in My Car Thursday. There's that tan sweater. The tan sweater is wearing a tan sweater. How weird is that?
A hat on a hat.